Hello guys and welcome back. Gonna try to keep this video as concise as I can. There's a lot on my mind, but I'm just going to talk about a couple specific things to keep this video relatively short. Okay, so in my last video I made with excitement for this new season, and then in this one I am happy with it, especially because it came with the new Descendant Haley. It came with invasions, which I think is okay, and it came with a ton of quality of life changes, which I'm not going to go over in this video. In my next video, I'm going to talk about some of the quality of life changes that I really do like in this game. But I do have to talk about what I did mention in my previous video, where they did lock Haley behind the invasions mode. And on top of that, they also made her impossible to grind outside of it. So I have to stress a couple things here. I have a lot of hours in this game. I have a ton of maxed out weapons. I have burned through a ton of catalysts. I spent 11 catalysts on Luna just trying to figure out pre-patch, the latest update, before the latest update. So I was burning through a lot of stuff, experimenting, having fun in the game, right? So I have upwards of 550 hours, okay, on this game since release. And that may be including the betas, but we'll just say 500 plus hours, okay? If you are a casual gamer, and that's what video games are about at the end of the day, because when I was just looking around the internet, I was seeing a lot of people, sort of making the get good argument, which is the quickest way to kill your game. The first thing I want to mention here is the invasions mode only being in hard mode difficulty. That's the only way to play that. You don't have a normal mode that you can do. And then on top of that, if you did have a normal mode, it'd probably give you abysmal drop rates for Haley as well. So I have no problem playing invasions and getting gold every single day. That's not an issue. Even if I'm messing up, and I'll show you guys a clip, a clip of me, a 6-minute clip or something, of me messing up a bunch of times, wasting a bunch of time, and still getting well under the 7-minute mark for one of the invasions for today. However, if we're being honest, this is not the experience of the general population. Right now, as I'm recording this video, I checked on Steam, you have around 38,000 players playing this game. I wish I had screenshots of this, but on August 29th, which is when this latest update was released, there was around 64 to 65,000 players playing the game. This is around like 3 or 4 p.m. By 5 p.m., it had dropped down to around 33,000 or 34,000. So almost like, so a little bit over 30,000 players stopped playing the game after they saw invasions, right? It was incredibly easy for people like myself who basically have, like I've said, tons of hours in the game, have messed around with a lot of things, maxed out weapons, maxed out Descendants, super tanky, can just walk in there, walk out, no problems, right? However, your game will die extremely quickly when you essentially try to force people to basically pay for Haley. Okay, not that people aren't already spending money on the game. They already are spending a ton of money on skins and all this other stuff, right? Ultimate skin packs, all this other crap, right? When you do something like this and you make it so it looks like they have no other choice, because if you're getting bronze and silver, right, you are not going to get Haley for months, okay, especially with the RNG. And before the patch on August the 31st, you basically had a 10% chance to get one of her parts when you ran a mission and killed the boss in that infiltration operation. Now, why am I bringing this up? I brought up the player count as well as the Haley drop rate in invasions as well as outside of it, the fact that people are spending money on the game, and so on, right? Now picture this, guys. As of now, recording this video, it's September 2nd. The game was released July 2nd. So it's been out about 2 months now. Of the 38k players on Steam, and by the way, all the numbers I mentioned previously are all Steam numbers, console numbers not included. But again, of the 38k number of players on Steam, right, 38,000 players, how many do you think have over 300 hours in the 2 months this game has been out? Not many, right? Let's just be generous and say of the 38k players, let's say 10,000 of them have 300 plus hours in the game, right? That's still a minority of your player base. It's around 20 to 25%. Right? Give or take. And I'm being generous. I doubt that many people have put that much time, especially when you're looking at the 500 plus hours of just grinding and gameplay, right? 'Cause some people come on the game and just, basically just goof off, customize, and all that stuff, right? When you combine the fact that people are already spending money on the game, the fact that you actually have a sizable casual base, with the fact that they made Haley's grind before Saturday basically impossible in invasions as well as outside of invasions. For most of the player base, you're basically asking for trouble because it looks like you're basically forcing them to buy Haley. All right, if you noticed, I had around 4,000 caliber. I could have bought her. I had more than that before I recorded this, and I was just buying like skins. I bought like some skins for Sharon and Luna. So I do like the game, I do play the game, but this is the stuff that annoys me because it's just unnecessary. You have all this extra good stuff that you put in your game, and then you ruin it with something completely ridiculous. The Haley grind is absurd. I know there's going to be a bunch of people, I mean, I'm talking before this patch on Saturday. It's still really hard now, but it was absurd before that. But like I was saying, I know there's going to be a bunch of people that are going to say, oh, you could just grind her out, why are you complaining, it's not that bad. To me, it just reads poorly, right? You release something on Thursday that is obviously ridiculous. If the devs had tried to grind her out in the 12 days, I think in Dev Note 13, the director says he was hoping that even people who don't have a lot of times on their hands could get her in 12 days. I hate to break it to you, there was pretty much no chance anyone's going to get her in 12 days. It was just not going to happen unless they sat, especially before the patch. I mean, now I was able to basically, again, like I said, I have a lot of hours in the game. I was able to basically no life it in one day and get all the parts that I wanted, and I actually started building her. But again, this is just not good practice, and I hope we don't see any more of this stuff, because the apologies pretty much like 24 hours later, it's starting to wear thin on a lot of people, and now we're getting to the cynical point, right? Where it's like you release something that's just obviously absurd, right? Like there's no weapon in this game that's that hard to farm. There's no ultimate Descendant that's that hard to farm. I mean, you could probably combine Ultimate Lepic, Ultimate Ajax, Ultimate Bunny, Ultimate Viessa, right? And this is especially before the patch on Saturday, and they would still pale in comparison to farming Haley. Now look, I'm not oblivious to what NEXON does. I'm fully aware that it's probably not even the devs, it's probably the NEXON suits. That being said, I just want the game to last at least 5 years, and 2 months into the game, pulling these types of stunts is going to kill your game very, very quickly. All right. Now look, I'm going to be honest, I don't believe that this was a mistake. I fully actually believe, it's like, you can call it a conspiracy if you want, but I fully believe that they were just testing to see what they could get away with. We're fully beta testers in this sense. Like it was like, okay, let's see if they'll flip out. And then people did, and within like not even 24 hours had passed, and they'd already said, we're sorry, we're gonna fix it, right? There's that aspect. They need to stop playing these stupid games, because eventually you're gonna get a stupid prize. The last thing I want to address is sort of the behavior from players that have put a lot of time into the game. Guys, we can certainly have it in between here. You don't want to alienate your casual fan base. I still believe, like I've mentioned, that the casual fan base are what carry games. Yes, you want to make content for your sweats in the game, but the vast majority of people aren't sweating the entire time they're playing this game. They just want to have a good time, play with their friends or loved ones, whatever, right? So you want to have a way for those people to progress through the game, and not just basically tell them, hey, look, if you don't have fully catalyzed characters and weapons, you're not getting Haley or any other future content. Stuff like that is just not going to help the game in the long term. But I think I've been rambling on enough. There's got to be a way to find an in-between, guys. The NEXON suits can still make their money without basically forcing people to grab their wallets, literally forcing them to grab their wallets, because no one's going to spend 300 hours or whatever it is to grind one normal Descendant. And also, we don't have to make everything just hard, because right now Invasions is just hard, and if they weren't patching the difficulty on Thursday, we'll wait to see what happens, and all that, they'd basically alienate most of their players. But I think I've rambled on enough, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one on a more positive note. Peace.